Hello everyone. Recently I posted a snapshot of my life, a simple before and after moment from my time in Plymouth Brethren Christian Church. Stirred of a lot of emotion, as you would expect, from people inside the church, from those who've left, from people who don't know much about it at all. Some comments were incredibly kind, others were painful, and some were just ugly. Accusations, abuse, claims that I was paid off, threatened, or had a gun to my head. None of that is true. So I want to make a few things clear. No one paid me to say anything. No one pressured me to speak. In fact, when I did, a senior church member reached out to me and told me that there was zero expectations of me ever doing something like this. From their side, they were thankful but surprised. But I wanted to, and I still do. This is something I've carried for years, something I felt was right to say. Not to cause hurt, not to reopen wounds, not to make people feel bad or sad, but to offer something that's rarely heard, a different side of the story. Now let me be real with you. Some of the stories I read were confronting. I've read your comments, most of them. I've spoken with some of you directly, and I acknowledge your pain. I really do. We've all had pain. Your truth is your truth, and it matters. My story doesn't cancel out yours, and yours doesn't cancel out mine. Because the truth is this: more than one thing can be true at the same time. My time in the Brethren was mostly positive, not perfect, but overwhelmingly good. I grew up with values that I strive for today: integrity, loyalty, generosity, discipline, use of time, and care of others. I saw families open their homes, as did I, help the needy and give generously, not just to each other, but to those outside the church as well, many of them. I grew up surrounded by everyday people: mechanics, builders, carpenters, business owners, truck drivers, teachers, mothers, fathers, you name it. Just ordinary people, living quiet, happy lives of faith and commitment. I had personal relationships with many families, many families, including the Hales family, who have been an easy target in my opinion because the name is known to many. But they've borne the brunt of this. I consider my friendship with them a privilege, and I still do. Also want to make a specific point about Bruce D. Hales, who many have said vicious, untrue things about. He was a role model to me growing up. So to call him evil or the like arouses righteous indignation within me, which is why I rebuked them. I know the man. That's why I can speak. Now this all said, I'm not trying to say that the church is perfect. Churches are full of people, and people are imperfect. Yes, bad things can happen, even in good churches, and people can get hurt. It happens. We're human. And if that's you, I hope you find healing. I hope you find peace. And if you ever want to talk, I'm happy to chat and to listen. But I feel it's unfair to paint tens of thousands of good people with one broad negative brush. And that's why I decided to speak up. If you only ever read about the Plymouth Brethren online or in the media, hear it, watch it, you'd think it was a horror story, a cult, a trap filled with monsters. That is so far from what I saw, and not what I lived. I left the Brethren not because I was angry or bitter. I left because I had to, and I needed to tell the truth and get things into the open and live my truth, to be honest with myself and others about who I am. Since leaving, I've been through some tough seasons. Times without income, times completely alone, times when I could hardly afford to pay a menial rent, times when I had no home, times when I couldn't afford to buy food, without certainty and without hope. But I've also built a good life now, a life that's still rooted in values, care, and in kindness. So I'm not here to argue, I'm not here to debate theology, I'm not here to hurt anyone, nor to be indifferent to the pain and suffering of others. Just here to add something to the record. So I just want to finish by saying this. There are so many good, honest, faithful people in the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church, people I know, people who have honoured their calling. I'm grateful to the people who showed me love, support, friendship and faith. I really am. They deserve to be treated fairly, just as you do, just as I do, and as does everyone who God, in his great love for us, gave us the breath we breathe. I thank you for hearing my truth. May we all, in whatever path we're on, walk forward with strength, contrition, and a little more grace and love in our hearts for one another.